I destroyed my sister's perfect wedding in front of 200 horrified guests, and my entire family disowned me that night. But what I discovered 3 weeks before her dream wedding left me with an impossible choice: stay silent and watch an innocent man marry a cheater, or speak up and lose everything. My golden child sister Emma was marrying Michael, a guy who worshipped her completely while she lived this massive lie. If you've ever been caught between family loyalty and doing what's right, hit subscribe, because this story will leave you questioning what you'd do when the truth could destroy everyone you love. Everything unraveled when Emma asked me to help move boxes from her apartment. She left her buzzing phone on the counter, and when I glanced over, my stomach dropped. Messages from Jake Hart were flooding the screen, and her fiancé's name is Michael. My hands shook as I read intimate texts, saw photos that made me sick, and discovered 8 months of secret meetups. This wasn't some drunken mistake. She'd been living a double life while Michael planned their future, bought their house, and talked constantly about starting a family with his soulmate. For 2 weeks, I barely slept. Every time Michael excitedly showed me wedding details or our parents gushed about their perfect daughter, I felt physically ill. I'd catch myself staring at Emma during family dinners, wondering how she could smile and laugh while planning to promise loyalty to a man she was actively betraying. My hands would literally shake thinking about Michael pledging his life to someone who was already breaking her vows. I kept imagining him finding out years later, maybe after they had kids, and the devastation would be so much worse. I cornered Emma at her apartment when Michael was working late. The moment I mentioned Jake's name, her face went ghost white. Then she exploded, called me pathetic, jealous, said I'd always resented her happiness. "What Michael doesn't know won't hurt him," she hissed. "You're just bitter because nobody wants you." When I threatened to tell him myself, her eyes turned ice cold. She'd destroy my reputation with our family, reveal every embarrassing secret from my past, make sure I was cut out completely if I dared ruin her special day. The gaslighting was incredible. Suddenly, my ribs. I'd printed the most damning evidence, screenshots that left zero doubt about her betrayal. At the venue, Emma looked radiant, playing the blushing bride perfectly. She even hugged me, whispering, "Thanks for being such a supportive sister," probably thinking her threats worked. As I watched her pose for photos, laughing like she didn't have a care in the world, my resolve crystallized. She'd made her choice 8 months ago. Now I was making mine. I waited until after Michael's toast about Emma being his best friend, soulmate, and the most honest person he knew. The irony was suffocating. When they opened the floor for speeches, I stood on trembling legs. "Marriage should be built on trust and honesty," I began, pulling out my phone. "There's something everyone needs to see before we celebrate this union." Emma's smile disappeared as I read Jake's messages aloud. Intimate details, meeting locations, months of lies while Michael planned their future. I showed the photos. The room went dead silent, except for my voice, revealing every betrayal. The silence was deafening. 200 people sat frozen as Michael's face cycled through confusion, denial, and devastating heartbreak. He stared at my phone like it was showing him his own death. Emma screamed that I was lying, that I was sick and jealous, but the evidence was undeniable. Michael stood slowly, looked at Emma with such broken eyes, and whispered, "I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't." He walked out in his tuxedo, half the guests following. Emma collapsed in her dress, mascara streaming, shrieking that I'd destroyed her entire life out of pure spite. The fallout was nuclear. My parents called me cruel and vindictive, said I was no longer their daughter. Emma launched a vicious campaign, telling everyone I'd fabricated evidence out of jealousy, that I was mentally unstable. Extended family blocked me. Friends chose sides. And I became the sister who destroyed her own family. Even people who believed me said I should have handled it privately. Emma moved back with our parents, playing victim while I became the family pariah. Wedding vendors demanded payment. Guests wanted explanations. And I lost almost everyone overnight.